Whew. Okay. Greetings, my galactic tribe. What's good, y'all? Um, it is me. Iman Edu, and I am here on the Scorpio Mothership Connection by way of the Pause Galactic Wellness Center. Okay, that's where I currently am. Um, and we are going to be cultivating love, community, and spirit in this space. Okay. Today is Friday. Today is the energy of Venus, the planet Venus. The planet Venus deals with love, it deals with intimacy, it also deals with finances. But today I am going to focus on the energy of community. Okay. The individual the energy of understanding the individual as well, that is supposed to be a part of the community. Okay. Now I say supposed to be a part of the community because we are not in the Western world, we're not taught the ancient ways. We're taught individualism. And granted, we are here on an occult level as individuals to understand ourselves in an entire other manner, to give back still to the whole. So that's why understanding community is best, because it actually helps to keep us in alignment with why we're here. Okay. I feel from just viewing out in the world that we have gone too far from our center. And it is time right now for us to recenter ourselves. Okay. So getting back on our square and getting off of the circle. Okay. So we're making connections and connecting dots in our lives right now. Okay. And we have to take that very seriously. So, my contribution to the community as a whole, to the conscious community, to the spiritual community, just in general, to the melanated beings who don't even identify with any of those things, but identify with spirit at least, and identify with their spirit, and knowing that there's something more to life. I give you all um, a consistent presence of ancient knowledge, something that I've cultivated for myself over some time. And I think that I am ready to be able to share with you all. A lot of this information isn't going to be my information, but it is coming through me, um, by way of the whole, Big Mama, the Great Mother, to bestow upon my family. Okay. And I feel the duty to bestow a certain level of information to you all that we may not have been privy to over here, just because we forgot. We honestly forgot. Okay. It's no one else's fault. We can get over the whole adversary situation and the white man, this and the white. Listen, we're going to let that go. Okay. Because at the end of the day, our we are responsible for ourselves. Okay. It is no secret that a lot of things have been hidden from us, but not to get too much into occultism, we as a melanated people have such a high understanding or a high level of technology that we actually hid this from ourselves so that we can understand polarity. Okay. I'm going to just let y'all sit with that. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment, you know. And if you are still here, we're just getting started, but if you're still here, I want to go ahead and invite you to like, share, and subscribe this video. Please push this out as much as you can, because this is information that all of us need to know. And the more of us that knows it, the more we can continue to feed back the whole. Okay. All right. So, as I was saying, I will be reading today from this book here. It's called Welcoming Spirit Home, okay, by Sobonfu Some. I chose this book to read from because it's actually some beautiful teachings that are here, coming from the Dagara tribe, which is where Sobonfu is from. And when I first read this book a few years back, it touched me in such a beautiful way that I knew first I had to digest it myself. And secondly, I knew I had to put it out into my community once I was ready to cultivate a community. And I'm here today because I am ready to cultivate a community. So I'm keeping myself consistent. And I hope that you all can be here to join me in this community, to also hold me accountable, hold yourselves accountable, hold each other accountable, for this transition and this transformation that we all are making back to the whole. Okay. We're going back to the whole, and the whole is love. All right. The whole is the great I am. Um, so I'm going to start off with reading the forward in this book because I felt that the forward was so groundbreaking in understanding the polarities of being in a space that is a space like ancient, excuse me, not even ancient, but an African culture, being a part of an African culture, and being a part of a Western society and culture. I feel like her giving this polarity at the first beginning of everything puts things into perspective, as far as why it is important for us to give a certain amount of wisdom and keep a certain amount of, not even just culture, because we've, oh my god, we've watered down what the word culture even means, because culture is just not the way we've been doing something for some time. It's actually a passing down of ancient knowledge, of celestial knowledge. And we've gotten so far from that. We just think cultural is just, oh, I'm my people are this and we do that, and my people are that and we do this and we do it that way. And culture at this point just really cultivates separation. And I'm just be real. And it's time for us to come back to a collective understanding, because we're all here as individuals to feed back to the source, okay? To feed back to love, because love is the source. And I'm going to keep saying that. Love is the beginning, love is power. Love is not an emotion like we've been taught, because we've been swayed outside of the truth. And I am here doing my duty to bring the truth back to us, or at least some aspect of what I understand to be the truth. Okay. And I hope that it resonates with you all. Before I get started, I do want to go ahead and clear the. Let me introduce myself a little bit too, right? I'm acting like y'all know who I am. But I am Tamasha, aka Amana Do, okay? And I wear both hats very proudly. So Tamasha is my beautiful ego, whom I have been for the last 34 years of my life. And there was at one point that I really wanted to disconnect from her. But I realized that there is so much power that lies in her. It's just that I couldn't understand that power at a certain time. So Aman Adu came to my rescue. Okay. Aman Adu is my higher self, is my spirit, my ka, or my spirit double, right? And she has allowed me to connect to the spirit world in such a way that Tamasha probably would not have been able to, because Tamasha was too connected to the material world. But now I am standing in the midst of the two as the observer, and I'm standing on the shoulders of my ancestors so that I can see above both aspects. A metaphysician, an occultist. I am then a life path guide. I will call myself a guide, not necessarily a coach, because I cannot coach anyone on life. I can only guide you through the understandings that I have cultivated throughout my life. Okay. So I am a divine life path guide. Okay. Guiding you all back to love, guiding you all back through the celestial waters to love. This is why you are here on the Scorpion Mothership Connection, because it is a mothership through transformation, the sign of Scorpio, um, that transmutes and transitions us back to love from the aspect of fear. Okay. Then I am also a licensed massage therapist where I do holistic massage therapy here in the Paul's Galactic Wellness Center in Hollywood, Florida. Um, I am also a Kemetic Reiki practitioner, also a Qigong Reiki practitioner. And I am lastly a member of this beautiful galactic experience called okay. And I'm here with you all experiencing this in real time. I don't see myself as lower or higher than anyone else. So I ask that you look upon me as a peer, because that is who I am and that is the hat that I'm wearing at this particular point. So um, I give thanks for you all inviting me into your space. I give thanks for you all being able to realize a certain aspect of truth from my voice. Um, and I hope that we can turn this space into a beautiful, 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 beautiful sense of ancient community. Okay. Um, And anyhow, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. But like I said, I want to clear the energy with my sound bowl here. The sound bowl is dedicated to the crown chakra. And I am super like keen on the crown chakra because this is where we download all of our information, right? This is our information center. The mind is our information center. And through this information center, we have to have it clear enough to be able to understand or allow the cells in our body to understand, the chemicals in our body to understand, the hormones to be able to understand how to sift through the information that is coming to us. Okay, so this is our information center, the crown chakra. So I would ask you guys to sit back and relax. If you have on headphones, you can probably turn it down at this point because it might get a little bit high pitched. So let's get started. I invite you to take nice 3 deep breaths as I ring this bowl. I will guide you along with my breath. In the reason that we want to do this is because it allows us to recalibrate ourselves from our day into this space, okay? Because you want to allow the download to reach you and sort the way it's supposed to, okay? So this is a recalibration process, and your breath will bring you back to your center, all right? So let's get started. I don't know about you all, but I felt spirit being welcomed in. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading from this forward and just do your best to follow along with the words that she has here and be able to notice the differentiation between the two aspects of polarity that I was speaking of earlier. Okay. A child is born. He or she comes into the world of nature, perhaps in a simple structure where bird songs can be heard. The breath of life is blown in her nostrils by the midwife, and the child draws into herself this new world. A loving and supportive embrace of mother and family surrounds her from the first moment. There are more people who want to hold her than there are hours in the day. She hears the singing of women as they work around the lodges. She hears the singing of men in the fields or forest. The people around her in community know how to get along well, and she learns these ways of relationship with ease. Love fills her day before she has words for it. Often, she is with her grandparents and her elders who share the stories of her family and the wisdom of her people. She grows up never knowing what separation means. She runs, plays, explores among the living things around her while the old ones tell her what they are. This is a healing plant. This is a herd of animal. This is a bird of great beauty. Her elders watch her and give her a tantalizing array of experiences and choices so that her natural tendencies and gifts begin to show themselves. They look deeply into her spirit with their wise, spirit filled eyes. What she loves and who she is becomes clearly evident, and the uniqueness of her contribution to the people is seen and named and nurtured. The only code of the village is to support the highest intention and finest being of each person. Spirit is honored in the child in all things. She becomes masterful at what she loves and offers a great gift to her people from her heart through her hands. Okay, switch. A child is born. She or he be, she or he comes into glaring brightness in a room with no windows, surrounded by smells of chemicals. Her basic instinct is to be frightened, and her mother's heartbeat has changed, and the baby senses her stress. When she has passed through that challenging canal into the light of her own day, she is taken from her mother when she most needs the assurance of lying on the familiar heartbeat. Something stings her eyes. She is alone. Her crying brings no response, and she finally falls into an exhausted sleep to wake up again alone in a crib. When she finally goes home with her mother, she is still alone much of the time. Her mother is alone and often exhausted, overwhelmed with caring for herself and the rest of the family. There is no one there to help her. Before very long, the baby is left all day in a strange place with a stranger who is busy with many other stressing and crying children. She adjusts. She draws into herself in a certain way. Her wishes feel like demands that are not being met, and hurt and anger enters before she has words for them. No one has time to watch her closely, to give her attention and individual experiences, to watch her response, to let her show what she loves. Home at night is full of tired people, still busy with chores at home after a long day of work. Television entertains her. Finally, the whole family is together. Television, I'm sorry, you guys. I am in a studio and I share space, a communal space with everyone else. So if you hear any strange noises or loud noises or sudden noises, that's that. All right. So, television entertains her. Finally, the whole family is together around the TV where someone else's life or fiction or violence is being portrayed. None of the family stories or wisdom have been given to her, and she grows up not knowing who she is. An adult has to drive her everywhere she goes, down busy streets and highways, and she is frightened to go outside alone. In school, she is asked to sit still, be quiet, to control her natural tendencies and interests. Her aliveness is dampened into obedience. She is molded to the structure around her, made to be a good little worker. Her rhythm is tuned to someone else's needs. A bell rings and she has a small taste of freedom. Then back to her seat. She tries to pick some job that she would like to do in her life. It doesn't work out so well because her days are deadened and dull. Loud music and stimulants, coffee and then stronger things help sometimes, but not for long. Sometimes she can't even relax at night. Then she must take something to quiet herself and dull the ache in her head. I'm going to just keep my comments to myself for now because there's no judgment in this space, okay? There's only truth and understanding. Which one of these is more like your early years and your children's? Which one do you want for your children and the children to come? Which community would you like to call your home? This book will help you make choices that can move you more closely towards creating a community of spirit, even today, even in your modern world. So, when I read that part of the book, you guys, that shook with me. I don't know if that shaking you all up, but that enlivened something in me. And I told myself that once I worked what that second half of that polarity that I just read did to me, because I knew how I grew up. How did you grow up? And if you are in the Western world, you probably grew up on that second half, right? And this is not to feel bad. This is not to fearmonger. This is not to feel shame or guilt or any resentment. Is honestly to say you are able where you are to switch the energy in you first and foremost, because energy is never created or destroyed. It just is. Okay. And so you always, as the highly technological being that you are, able to shift any source of energy at any given time. Okay. That is the beauty that God, the great mother, or the great I am, has given us as individuals. This is why in the Bible they say that we are made in God's image, because God gave us the ability to be able to formulate or to be able to shift energy at any given time. Okay. And that's the beauty of what the body does. And I told myself that after I shifted, transmuted, the energy of having that hyper individualism cultivated in me, that I must then, because it starts with self, after that, I must then bring a certain level of knowledge to my people. Okay. Because we have to understand that it's time to return back to the source. And you do that through not judging yourself. That's the first thing you want to get control of. Then secondly, you want to shift your understanding into your emotions.